For UConn, it's been more of the same. The sensational sophomores led the Huskies to a 5-0 start. Will they cross another victim off their list? Next on CPTV. UConn has been a mighty tough out over the years at Gamble Pavilion, winning 86 of its last 88 here. Tonight we are in stores where the Holy Cross Crusaders visit #1 ranked Connecticut. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Megan Kumo. Thanks for beginning your December with us. The game was hyped as a matchup with the two best players in the country. Well, Megan, Oklahoma came to town on Sunday night, and another player stole the show.
Well, there's no doubt that Renee Montgomery has established herself as the best point guard in the country. The way she played, she had a look about her all game, whether it was on the break, pulling up for the jumper, getting her team fired up, or penetrating and dishing inside to Gina Charles with a nice finish. This young lady did it on all facets of the game. The nice spin in the finish. She even has him smiling. How often do you see that? You see the career numbers there. 30 points, 13 assists. She's the most experienced player in the country, and you can really see it coming out in her game.
Holy Cross has been to the NCAA tournament 9 times in the last 14 years. The Crusaders are off to a 1-5 start, but they have the best player in the Patriot League.
They sure do. Brianna McFadden, now she's a 5'10 junior guard. Last year's Offensive Player of the Year in that Patriot League, coming off a career game with 31 points against Missouri, a big win against that Big 12 opponent. Let's see if her team has the talent and the competitiveness to compete here tonight.
And in only her 5th game in a UConn uniform, Caroline Doty made history on Sunday, the first Husky ever to go 6 for 6 from three-point range in the same game. Bob Picozzi and Megan Kumo back at Gamble Pavilion, all set for the 19th meeting between UConn and Holy Cross. Let's check out the starting lineups. First for the visitors from Worcester, Massachusetts. Bethany Odell is the 4th leading scorer in the Patriot League. She leads the conference in three-point field goals and is 3rd in Holy Cross history in career three-pointers. For UConn, on Sunday night against Oklahoma, Tina Charles had her first double-double of the season, 18 points, season-high 10 rebounds, and a season-high 4 block shots. The Crusaders are coached by Bill Gibbons, guided to 11 NCAA tournament appearances, and he is a 6-time Patriot League Coach of the Year. And his counterpart and good friend, Gino Auriemma, is a 7-time National Coach of the Year. UConn to 5 national championships. And Megan, no player in the Big East has a higher field goal shooting percentage than number 32 in the white uniform, Kalena Green.
You know, it's pretty incredible to think that Kalena Green has come back from, only playing 8 games last year. And to work on her game so much and to be shooting that efficiently is just a testament to what a tough kid she is.
Jumping center will be Tina Charles at 6'4". And Fremo, UConn has won the last 15 meetings. Jack Reardon will toss the ball up. He's working the game with Rita E. Roach and Mai Forsberg. And we are underway from Gamble. Last touch by Maya Moore. And it will go over to Holy Cross. Now we may get a reversal. Looks like we do. We have
and
our
I think Maya just actually reversed that call.
That is a new Big East record. 3 seconds in, our first reversal of the evening. Earliest reversal in Big East history. Here's Doty, who was terrific against Oklahoma the other night.
And you never know, she's a freshman knocking down 6 threes, her first time on national TV.
Green for 3, rebound on a hop to McFadden, who does everything for this Holy Cross team. 10, Alyssa May. 33 is Whitney Fremo. Picked up the dribble and then threw a bounce pass right to the official, Mai Forsberg.
Yeah, that was intended for McFadden. As you see Billy Gibbons looking on like, what are you doing? McFadden just not ready for it.
Holy Cross in a 2-3 zone. They'll play mostly zone. They certainly are in no position from a talent or athletic standpoint to match up man with UConn, and Montgomery picks up where she left off.
You know, and I just saw Gibbons just cross his arms thinking, oh no, is she going to start this game knocking down her first three?
That is her 15th three of the year, third most in the Big East. Here's McFadden, the leading scorer in the Patriot League. Fremo gives to Odell, defended by Montgomery. Shot clock at 10. May with the pull-up over Doty. Didn't even hit the rim. Rebound Charles. Montgomery, Moore runs the floor so well. She passes the ball so well. But Doty couldn't finish. Last touch by the Crusaders. Here's a look at Doty, who scored 18 points, all from three-point range against fourth-ranked Oklahoma on Sunday. Green inbounds to Charles, who was one of 3 UConn players with double-doubles on Sunday. Montgomery with her second three of the night.
She's just playing with the confidence right now that she believes every time she shoots it, it's going in.
I teased Renee in warm-ups. I said, got another 30 in you tonight. So she's on her way, isn't she?
She sure is.
30 Campbell, cross-court pass. Comes to McFadden. Out to Fremo. Shot clock at 10. The backdoor cut, Odell, and she lost it over the end line. Second turnover for Holy Cross. With that second three-point field goal, Renee Montgomery continues to climb the ladder. She moves ahead of Maria Conlon into 7th on the UConn career list. That was her 171st.
Wow, I mean, when you think about it, I said it earlier that she's the most experienced player in the country. I mean, she started more consecutive basketball games than anyone in this nation, and it's just the way in which she's playing right now. I mean, she was pretty far back behind the line on that play. She just really believes right now, and when you're a shooter, as long as you believe it in between your ears that you can make every shot, well, then that's when you're the most dangerous player on the floor.
Gino Auriemma said, everyone knows that Maya Moore is the best player in the country. Renee's trying to make sure that Maya's not the best player in our team. She wasn't the other night, and by the way, Moore was terrific the other night with 27 points and 12 rebounds. Moore now leads the Big East in rebounds.
You know, and it's the leadership things that this young lady does. You know, in that game on Sunday against Oklahoma, Doty had 5 threes, and Renee said, I'm going to make sure you get one more, and she penetrated and kicked it. I mean, that speaks volumes to your freshman.
Moore can't get the three to fall, but Charles hustles for the rebound and a fresh 30. Montgomery penetrates, leaves for Moore, foul line jumper. 8-0 Huskies. Holy Cross has 1 shot in the first 2 minutes. Odell to Fremo. Up top to McFadden. This is May, number 10. They look inside, nothing there. Holy Cross just trying to execute the offense. Moore knocks it into the UConn bench, 11 seconds on the shot clock. Bill Gibbons said, look, we want to run our offense. We want to just try to get better at the things we want to do all season long, not pay too much attention to the score. That's the goal tonight.
And that's it. You know, they play UConn every year, and he knows, you know, there isn't a great chance to beat them when they're, you know, at their best, but he's a competitor, and he comes down, and his teams get better from playing here. Montgomery
with the hesitation on the dribble. She will earn a trip to the free throw line, and oh, by the way, she is the leading free throw shooter in the Big East at 92.9%. Foul on Brianna McFadden, the first of the night.
Yeah, and it's not like she doesn't get herself to the line. That's what's great about Renee Montgomery. She can beat you in so many different ways, whether it's from long range or whether it's setting up a teammate, dishing the ball, or penetrating to the basket. You know, the best guards get themselves to the free throw line because they're aggressive getting to the hoop.
Substitution for Holy Cross checking in is Meredith Ward, 5'8" freshman from Westerly, Rhode Island. And Odell leaves, and they are working on her left leg. Might be the knee.
Oh, that's not what they need to happen right now. They lost Tiana Carper on Sunday.
Sprained MCL. She's expected to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Inside Campbell. Nice look from the perimeter from May.
Holy Cross is always going to be competitive, and they'll run their offense. They're a lot like Villanova.
Moore, no good. Rebound inside. Charles lost it. Loose on the floor. Mad scramble. Held ball. Arrow pointing toward the Crusaders. Holy Cross played in a tournament over the weekend. Well, now Delaney Green tried to steal that. The arrow clearly was going the other way.
That's a good try.
Holy Cross over the weekend was in Chicago, actually Evanston, Illinois, just north of the city, playing on the Northwestern campus. Beat Missouri for their first win of the year on Saturday, then lost to Western Illinois on Sunday. Charles with the steal. Montgomery 3-on-3. Spins, tried to leave. Will get another held ball. This time it will stay down UConn's end of the floor.
Yeah, good defense there by Alyssa May. But check out this. They're not home again until I think like January 2nd.
Right. This is the third of 8 straight games that they're playing away from home. Some of them are neutral site games. Inside Green, and she will earn herself a trip to the free throw line. Second foul of the night on the Crusaders, and this will be on number 10, Alyssa May. Bill Gibbons started at Holy Cross the same year that Gino Auriemma started at UConn. And they both have absolutely dominated their respective leagues. Gino has won 14 Big East tournaments and 16 regular season conference titles. Bill Gibbons has won 11 Patriot League tournament titles and 11 Patriot League regular season titles. And as you said, Meg, they play UConn every year, and they always play them very, very early. And they've taken some whippings at the hands of the Huskies, but they come back strong. Speaking of strong, Moore with the follow on the missed free throw. But Holy Cross, it seems like they're there every March in the NCAA tournament. They didn't get there last year, but they've been there 9 times.
Yeah, they were at the finals. They lost to Bucknell in the finals of their tournament, and their tournament gets that automatic bid. Nice block inside. Maya Moore.
Her 9th of the year, 7th most in the Big East.
I mean, you talk about team defense. Every one of those white jerseys knows where the ball is. Good pressure on the ball, and then they're just tremendous athleticism by Maya Moore.
Number 20, Jessica Merriu checks in. She misses. Tina Charles with rebound number 4.
Charles is just playing at a different level thus far this season than we've seen in the past. Nice pass.
Charles cuts for the goal. Beautiful feed for Moore, and an opportunity for a three-point play for Charles.
On cue, Tina Charles with a nice finish off a terrific pass from Maya Moore. But, you know, there's something about Tina Charles. In the past, you could question some of the things she did on the floor, but she is playing with an energy level and an intensity level that I have not seen the past couple years, and it's showing in her numbers. And look at that, almost 70% from the floor. That's ridiculous.
Knocks down the free throw. Substitution. UConn freshman Tiffany Hayes, number 3, replaces freshman Caroline Doty. And Hayes has been absolutely terrific off the bench 5 games into her career. This is 21 Ward. Number 3, Cushnie's checked in. Shot is blocked by Hayes. Here's Montgomery. The hesitation dribble resulted in the wide open look. And a timeout for Bill Gibbons. It's his worst nightmare. UConn is shooting 60% from the floor and is out to a 19-2 lead over Holy Cross.
Well, what made that play so good from Renee Montgomery is, you know, she commands such respect because when she has the ball, you have to think that she's going to shoot it. And so the hesitation, and then you got to respect it and collapse, and then that's what opens up Maya Moore in the corner. And that's the last person you want to leave open anywhere on the floor.
2 assists for Montgomery tonight. She had 13 on Sunday. That ties the UConn record held by Susie Sturman and one of your teammates, Laura Lichnes. And I'm guessing in that game that Laura had the 13 assists, probably 6 or 7 of them set up number 33, a young Megan Pattison.
At least. Well,
there should be an asterisk next to Laura Lichnes' 13 because she played with you and you were a scoring machine. What were you at one point? You were the 9th leading scorer in UConn history, right?
I guess. And you're the numbers guy. I don't know.
They've recruited a few more players.
It's just
you're not 9th anymore.
No.
But you got.
I don't even know if I'm on the radar screen anymore.
Oh, your picture's still on that page in the media guide. McFadden drives,
nice
can't finish. Rebound Hayes, and a foul from behind might be on McFadden. It's been all UConn. The Huskies trying to go 6-0 for the fourth. This is UConn's last home game before Christmas, so you got to get the stuff out. You got to wear it. You can't be wearing that stuff on New Year's Eve at the next home game.
Those ladies are thinking.
Bill Gibbons has had tremendous success at Holy Cross. They have absolutely been the class of the Patriot League for a long, long time, winning 11 of the league's 18 titles. And they did advance to the second round of the NCAA tournament one time, beating Maryland back in 1991. Obviously, the Patriot League is a league that only gets one team in the tournament each year. Doty, shooter's touch.
These home rims are already kind to her in her young career.
Kylie McLaren and Lauren Dixon have checked in for the Huskies. Doty nearly got the steal, sends Kushney back into the backcourt. So Charles and Montgomery get a rest. Merrihew playing with a protection for a broken nose. Fremo with a drive, and she got bailed out by a foul because that didn't have a chance of going in. And she'll get a trip to the free throw line. Well, first foul of the night's on Maya Moore for UConn.
Merrihew with that mask, Gibbons told me, she was playing really well, and just before the first game, she broke her nose, and that's an injury that can really alter your game and the way you're playing. I mean, when you wearing a mask like that, it's awkward, it's cumbersome, it's difficult to see, and you're afraid you're going to get hit in the nose. That's such a painful injury to have. So you certainly hope for her sake and for her team's sake that she gets that thing healthy and off, and so she'll get back to playing the good basketball she was playing before.
Merrihew leaves, replaced by Jessica Pearson. I remember Larry Bird had to wear one of those things once, and a couple of games in, he was coming up the floor one day at the old Boston Garden. In the middle of a possession, he just whipped it off and threw it.
I don't blame him.
UConn comes right back. Kylie McLaren hitting her first shot of the night. She's shooting 53% from the floor. Jessica Pearson for three. And the smallest player on the floor, Lauren Dixon, deflected the rebound to her teammate Moore.
What a heads-up play by Dixon.
This is Doty. So let's see. Dixon will probably be handling the ball with this collection on the floor. Hayes with the miss. The rebound comes down to Fremo on a hop. Up the floor, it's Ward. Takes it to the middle. Campbell inside, blocked by McLaren. Third block of the night for the Huskies. McFadden, that's her third foul. Wow.
Wow.
Her third foul, 6 minutes in. So you're down 24-4, and your do-everything player has 3 fouls.
I couldn't tell. She tripped more than anything.
And Bill Gibbons didn't get a chance to get her out before play continued. Moore right side jumper is good. It's 26-4. UConn has won 15 straight meetings with the Cross. Last Crusaders win way back in 1986. Long three, McFadden. That's not the shot you want.
That's a little frustration there coming out from McFadden.
Look at Dixon just explode by Ward. Did the hard part.
She was almost going too fast.
But then Dixon kept the ball alive before it went over the end line and immediately found Moore for the layup.
Proof that you never give up on the play.
So 7 minutes in, Maya Moore is in double figures for the 42nd time in her career, and Holy Cross comes right back with a jumper. Meredith Ward's first basket of the night. And they'll inbound once again. A couple of substitutions for Holy Cross. May back in at number 42. Brzezinski's back in. Meg, remember last year it was Maya Moore. It was the second game of the year for Holy Cross. And that was Maya Moore's coming out party. She scored 31 points, and I want to say she had something like 25 in the first half.
I think she had more than Holy Cross in the first half. I think they had 19. I think she had 20. She alone had 25.
There's an over and back penalty, violation rather, on Gino Oriema's club.
Quite an interesting look on his face.
That's their first turnover.
And I'm trying to be kind by just saying interesting.
Charles back in, so no, Charles and McLaren will play together as Moore gets a rest. The long jump by Pearson didn't stay down. Rebound Hayes. Dixon to Doty. 7.5 minutes gone, and UConn has already scored 28 points. High-low, McLaren to Charles. Weak side help by May.
Terrific help there by Alyssa May coming over to knock that ball away from Tina Charles.
Pearson to Ward. The scoop, and that one got nowhere near the rim. McLaren with the rebound, and here comes Dixon. Has Doty right and hands to her. Then the give and go, McLaren. McLaren, it was a give and go, but then she just passed the ball right back, and rebound is pulled down by Fremo. Normally on the give and go, you take it to the hoop. Fremo with the fade and up in the air for another rebound as Hayes. She's got 4 rebounds. What's she been in for, about 45 seconds? Dixon back to Hayes. Left side Doty to Dixon.
Holy Cross mixes it up so much defensively, it's sometimes difficult to know what they're in.
There's another high-low. Great feed, McLaren to Charles.
And that's what you need to do. You need to just be patient and let things play out. Wait for the defense to make a mistake. And when you have McLaren at the top of the key, where she's such a good passer, anything can happen.
30-6 UConn. We are now 1/4 the way through the game, and the Huskies have scored 30 points. They lead the country in scoring, averaging 94 per game. Shot clock at 10. Fremo with the miss. McLaren with a good box out, and the ball will come over to UConn. Kylie McLaren, one of her talents is her ability to face the basket and find the open player underneath. And at 6'4", Tina Charles is quite a target.
Well, tune into CTSN, the Connecticut Sports Network, for local high school and college sports, as well as documentaries. CTSN, a partnership of CPTV and WFSB Channel 3, will broadcast 21 championship games the first 2 weeks of December. Tune into Comcast 185 or go to ctsntv.tv to learn more.
New project headed up by Tony Melisso, who has done great work on our UConn women's basketball package over the years. So no doubt that that'll be a big success also.
Yeah, we wish you well, Tony, but we will miss you.
That was like Groundhog Day, that possession. McLaren to Charles just on the other side of the rim. McLaren already has 2 assists. It's 32-6 UConn, and we are not halfway through the first half. Right side jumper, Campbell is good. Campbell had microsurgery, Megan, on her hip back in the spring.
Yeah, she had played only about 70% last year. Imagine having a hip problem. And I know you have bad knees, but playing with bad hip, no fun.
Tough sport to try to get around on with a bad hip. Doty with the open jump shot. We are now exactly at the midway point, and UConn on pace to score 140. Long jumper, the one-hander by Alyssa May. That is her 4th three-pointer of the season, and her first points of the night. McFadden on the bench with 3 fouls. McLaren in the lane, lays it in. UConn now has 14 field goals and 13 assists. Who's the one who screwed up?
We're not going to call anybody out.
Knocked out of bounds by the Huskies. 20 seconds left in the shot clock. Substitution UConn, Tahira Williams is in. Now, we mentioned, Meg, at one point in your UConn playing career, you were the 9th leading scorer. You're a 1,000-point scorer. You're now 27th. That's what happens when you recruit all these great All-Americans and they hang all these banners. They find you a nice soft spot behind the broadcast table, and then they just keep passing you by.
Absolutely. Well, Gino joked with me several years back that at one point I was one of the better athletes on the team. Now I wouldn't even make the team. They wouldn't even recruit me today. Shows you how far this place has come.
We mentioned a year ago UConn beat Holy Cross 91-36 at halftime. It was 47-20 UConn a year ago, and Maya Moore scored 22 points in the first half on 11 of 12 shooting a year ago. Wound up with 31 points.
That was one of the first nights where you and I looked at each other and we said, wow, this kid is something different.
We've said it a lot since, haven't we? There they are, Moore and Montgomery. Between them, they scored 57 points the other night. Doty, by the way, is now 8 for 8 her last 2 games. Long rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Huskies.
Yeah, McFadden launched that. She's back in the game. And, you know, Billy Gibbons, you got to put her back in. You need her.
Meanwhile, Odell, their second best player, has her left shoe off, and we don't know whether she'll be back in. And as you mentioned earlier, Tiana Carper, who leads the Patriot League in field goal shooting, not playing tonight and will be out for about 3 to 4 weeks after spraining an MCL on Sunday. 2-3 Husky zone. Right side 3, no good by Fremo. Rebound pulled down by number 2, Tahira Williams, who sees some unusual first half playing time. That's only the 3rd turnover for UConn.
So funny, I was just going to say, too, that Caroline Doty hasn't turned the ball over.
In fact, that's only her 3rd turnover. She entered the game with 2 turnovers in 135 minutes. Megan Gardler checks in for the first time, number 22, junior from Springfield, Pennsylvania. So right now, you can tell that Gene Auriemma is friends with Bill Gibbons, because I think his substitution pattern early tonight is reflecting that friendship and the score.
Absolutely. And also, you know, you talk so much about trying to get players rest. Well, this is a perfect opportunity.
Doty off the nice feed from Hayes. And the Huskies lead it 39-11.
If you run the floor for the Huskies, you will be rewarded.
15 field goals, 14 assists for UConn. Mariu in the lane. No good, and we're going to get a rebound foul inside. I think it's going to be on Hayes. Her first, and only the 2nd team foul for the Huskies. There's Bill Gibbons, who said, "I like our club. We have more versatility and depth than we've had in the past. The kids compete, they bounce back, they are very resilient." Fremo inside.
And they have some good athletes. They'll be able to press.
Pushney with the miss. Long rebound. Dixon tried to save and could not. Not even Lauren Dixon is quick enough to prevent that from going over.
You know, they'll be able to press and do some things in their league that they're not going to attempt to do here tonight. But he likes their chances, and that's why he plays games like this early in the season. They may have some, you know, some bumps in the road here early, and they lost some games that he really didn't expect them to play the way they did. But as we both know, he will be ready. They will be ready come January for the Patriot League.
And their Patriot League opener will be January 10th at Lafayette. Wide open look, Cushing. Rebound inside is controlled by Williams of UConn. And here comes Doty inside the 8-minute mark. Doty, the only UConn starter on the floor. Hayes to Williams. Dixon goes around the screen. Bounce pass to Doty. Still 10 on the shot clock. Williams goes baseline, goes right around Brzezinski.
I mean, that's a nice possession there. Yeah, a lot of touches on the ball. Side to side, and then the nice take there. Nice athleticism inside by Tahira Williams,
who was the New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year, her senior year at Immaculate Heart Academy. And coming up the floor, it looked like Hayes might have twisted an ankle a little bit. Grimacing, but continuing to move forward. So we'll keep our eye on that. Gardler. Now Hayes starting to move around. Dixon up high to Williams. Down low, and the pass too far in front of Gardler. Tahira Williams taking advantage of some unusual first half playing time and showing some quickness. She played on a team that went 24-0 her senior year in high school. UConn by 30, and Megan Heather Buck, the freshman from Stonington, Connecticut, is on the men, bouncing back from mononucleosis, and she has been medically cleared to begin training.
Yeah, she's been doing some just conditioning stuff. You know, she can't quite do the contact stuff yet, but I know she's psyched to just get back doing the bike and doing things to get her wind back. So hopefully she'll be healthy and back ready to contribute very soon. I know they need her.
Two-time Connecticut Gatorade Player of the Year at Stonington High School. 6th leading scorer in Connecticut high school history with 2,205 points. Holy Cross with the ball. May penetrates the zone. Can't get it to go, but does a nice job of drawing the foul. I believe this will be on Gardler. Her first and number 3 in the Huskies. And to the free throw line will go Alyssa May, a sophomore from Oradell, New Jersey. It's Bill Parcells' hometown. May knocks down the first free throw. Holy Cross with the big win over Missouri on Saturday. I know Bill Gibbons was chatting with us before the game. He said, you know, we purposely rescheduled our first 4 games at home. So what happens? We lose them all, and then we go beat a Big 12 team on the road. Go figure.
Yeah, go figure. You never know. You know, sometimes the pressure of being at home, you try not to lose, and that's what they were doing. A little too much thinking going on. Just play.
Williams loses the ball over the end line. Montgomery back in for the Huskies. There's a look at Williams, whose brother Isaiah is a wide receiver on the Maryland Terrapins, who will be headed for a bowl game to be determined. That will be announced this weekend. Up top, it's Pearson. They give to May. He did a good job by flashing to the foul line, but not such a good job by dragging the pivot foot. 6th turnover for Bill Gibbons' club. Doty. Inside 6 minutes, 41-13. Montgomery catch and shoot. She finally missed. Rebound McFadden, who's on the floor with 3 personal fouls, so she'll have to be careful. On the right, Pearson with the pull-up. Rebound pulled down by Tahira Williams. Here's Montgomery. Penetrates, kick out Gardler. Up top, Doty. That's a 3. Knocked it down.
It's like a layup for her.
For those of you watching.
She's already got a cheering section.
Yeah. For those of you watching very carefully, her toes were on the red line. That is the line for men's college basketball, the 3-point line, which was pushed back 1 foot this year to 20 feet 9 inches. It's the blue line, the blue arc inside the red, that remains the line for women's college basketball. And there are some arenas where they play NBA, Megan, where you have 3 lines to thoroughly confuse the officials and, more importantly, the broadcasters, who don't pay as much attention to the officials.
That is hard to do.
Montgomery with the miss and the putback by Tahira Williams. She's already got 4 rebounds.
Great minutes for Tahira Williams here tonight. I mean, and games like this are important to get some of the other players on your team, particularly this UConn team, which doesn't have a tremendous amount of depth.
Almost as many points off turnovers, 12, as Holy Cross has, period. Crusaders with 13 and no points off turnovers. Down low, Grzinski did a nice job with the head fake of drawing the foul, and she'll get to the line. Foul number 4 on the Huskies, and the first foul of the night on Kalena Green. So to the line will go Grzinski, a 6'2" senior from Elk Grove, Illinois, who underwent wrist surgery last summer. This is the 5th time in its history that Holy Cross has played a team that's ranked number 1 in the country. And all 5 times it's been UConn, and they've lost the previous 4 meetings. Doty sits down with 11 points, replaced by Jackie Fernandez. So everyone but Cassie Kearns has played so far in the first half for the Huskies. Doty with 11 points, in double figures for the 3rd time in her 6-game UConn career. Montgomery, small lineup on the floor for the Huskies. Williams at 6 feet is the tallest UConn player on the floor. Here's Gardler on the right. Down low, Williams. Kick out Green. Shot clock at 5. Green with the left side pull-up.
She's so fun to watch and so athletic. To stop on a dime and explode up in the air like that and elevate.
It was about 50 weeks ago where she tore her ACL and MCL against South Carolina. The 7th turnover for Bill Gibbons' club. Well, Kalena Green's not all the way back quickness-wise from that torn ACL, but looked pretty quick on that pull-up, didn't she?
CPTV takes a look at how television began in our state. The story of the Connecticut television industry's precarious and sometimes hilarious beginning is told through archival footage, photographs, and interviews with people who were there, like broadcast legends Bob Steele, Johnny Palmer, and Mr. Goober, a.k.a. Mike Warren. It's a trip down memory lane, and you're on the air. The early years of Connecticut television, Monday, December 15th at 9.
I was holding my breath that there wasn't a shot of me in that. Gardler up top. 3:20 to go. Down low, Kalena Green lays it in. I actually worked with the man who played Mr. Goober after his Mr. Goober day.
Okay.
Here's McFadden to Merrihew. Back to McFadden. Wants to go right at Green, and it was blocked by Williams. Green did a good job at defending it. And here's Montgomery the other way, inside the 3-minute mark. UConn shooting 69% from the floor. Down low, in and out of the hands of Williams, but she was shoved from behind by Merrihew, her first, and number 6 on the Crusaders. I think Green took a shot to the jaw from McFadden. Accidental, of course, at the other end of the floor.
Yeah, you could see, you just saw her.
Non-contact sport, basketball. Williams inside. Nice footwork, huh?
And nice job to free herself for that shot.
So here his dad played football at Rutgers. Look at that. Talk about picking someone's pocket. You don't see pocket pick that cleanly on the New York subways. And a reach-in foul. Let's see who Rita E. Roach will get for the infraction here. Is that number 4 on McFadden?
Get out.
Oh. Wow. Number 4 on McFadden. And Bill Gibbons giving Rita E. Roach an earful.
And he's such a nice guy. You know he's being very respectful with the way he's questioning her.
McFadden leads the Patriot League in scoring, is 3rd in 3-point field goals, 5th in assists, 6th in free throw shooting, and 10th in 3-point shooting. And with 2:27 to go in the half, she got 4 fouls.
And I've never seen him this mad. And Rita Roach was laughing. He's working on anyone in a striped shirt who will listen to him.
Bill's a Worcester born and bred. He actually went to Clark University, and Montgomery with the steal. Montgomery, her 212th career steal, 10th most in UConn history. The Huskies with 56 first half points, and we still have 2 minutes left. She's got 10. 3 UConn players already in double figures. And the rebound is pulled down by Montgomery. UConn looking for more. Montgomery right side. Fernandez knocks it down.
I was going to say, if this ball goes in, you'll hear the loudest ovation here tonight. And it's exactly what happened. The crowd loves it.
The crowd. How about the UConn bench? Those kids weren't that excited on Christmas morning when they were mere pups as they were when they saw Fernandez drill her first 3-pointer. Her first career 3-point field goal for Jackie Fernandez.
And it was a men's, and that was a men's 3-pointer. Her feet were behind the red line.
And you like the way she managed to not smile as she came back up the floor?
Which was probably the hardest thing she'll have to do tonight.
Well, she's about to get her 4th and 5th points thanks to the nifty pass from Dixon. She scored 1,195 points in Stonington High School. She was teammates for 2 years with her now UConn teammate Heather Buck. Played on a CIAC Class M championship team her senior year. And now they're reunited at the University of Connecticut. Fernandez with 5 points tonight. That is a career high. And we're still in the first half. UConn with 61 first half points. Here's Fernandez. Cassie Kearns, number 51, is checked in. So Gina Auriemma has played every healthy and available Husky. Here's Hayes. Shot clock at 10. Hayes with the 3-pointer. Air ball. And it will go back to Holy Cross with 36 seconds remaining. Pearson comes in. There's a look at Fernandez, who became the first UConn player from the state of Connecticut since Maria Conlon came out of Seymour High School back in 2000. And then Heather Buck became the first Connecticut Player of the Year to come to UConn since Maria Conlon came out of Seymour High School. The right side three by Cushing, no good, so UConn will play for one. Gino Auriemma will not use his first half timeout here, however.
No.
Up 61-14 with his good friend on the other bench. Here's Buck. Dixon with 5. Dixon with the pull-up with 3. UConn in the first half scored 63 points, had 18 assists on 25 field goals. Gino Auriemma's club outshot Holy Cross 71% to 13%. They lead by 49. Tina Charles had 7 first half points. That's not a misprint, folks. UConn leading Holy Cross 63-14 at halftime. Bob Picozzi back at Gamble Pavilion, and Megan Kumo is with associate head coach Chris Daly.
Bob, thank you very much. CD, obviously the game well in hand for you guys. What are you focusing, like what did you talk about with the team, and what are you guys thinking about?
Well, you know, obviously it's hard to get anything out of a game when you're up 50, but you don't want to embarrass the other team by not playing hard, and we're going to work on some things, our zones and our offense, and do the best we can in the next 20 minutes and head into exams ready to go.
And get some good rest for some of your starters.
Well, I don't know, but they're 18, 19. They don't need any rest. You know, I think we'll get some...
They're not old like you.
No, they'll need some experience. We'll get some experience for our younger guys and some of the guys that don't play as much, and that'll be good because they deserve it. They've earned it in practice. So.
All right, they need you in that huddle. Hurry up.
Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, you want to protect that 49-point lead. Brianna McFadden with 4 personal fouls in the first half for Holy Cross. Did not score. 0 for 4 from the floor. She leads the Patriot League in scoring with 19 points. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. And the Huskies with tremendous ball distribution. Renee Montgomery to Maya Moore from the right. This time down, Doty finds Moore. Moore only played 7 minutes, scored 11 points. Doty was 4 for 5 from the floor in the first half. Knocks down this one. Megan Gardler finds Doty again, who was 3 for 3 from three-point range and scored 11. And Renee Montgomery knocked down 2 threes early in the first half, and she wound up with 10 points, and she only played 10 minutes. The Huskies, as we take a look at the first half stats, look at the shooting percentages. 71.4% for the Huskies, and Megan, Holy Cross 4 for 31 from the floor.
You know, Billy Gibbons said to me before the game, he goes, you know, we got to shoot the ball well, and obviously that number is not going to make him happy, and you know they're going to shoot better here in the second half, but it's just UConn's defense makes it extremely difficult to get off a shot uncontested.
We began the night by talking about Renee Montgomery and Brianna McFadden. There you see the numbers for McFadden. And again, she had 4 personal fouls. And Renee Montgomery got those 10 points in only 10 minutes. The 63 points scored by the Huskies in the first half, the most since they scored 68 in the first half against Providence on January 6, 1998. And the 63 points, the second highest total for UConn. First half points in the history of the program. Holy Cross ball to begin the second half. McFadden goes around the Campbell screen. Charles jumps the screen. Shot clock at 10.
Good communication defensively with Tina Charles and Maya Moore.
Ward, I don't know whether it was a shot or a pass, whatever it was, Moore swatted it down the other end of the floor. That's the 10th turnover for the Crusaders. 10 turnovers and 4 field goals. Moore looks inside, instead finds Doty. Green on the wing. Around the Charles screen, shot clock inside 10. Montgomery with her 3rd 3 of the night.
Just such great patience offensively by this team, and the purpose with which they run their offense is very different from a year ago. I just love how the ball goes side to side. They don't rush anything. And another great shot by Montgomery,
who was 3 for 4 from three-point range. Huskies 8 for 15 from behind the arc. UConn is 6th in the country in three-point field goals, leads the Big East in three-point field goals and three-point percentage.
Because the right people are taking the right shots at the right time.
That's it. Another turnover. Great anticipation by Moore. Top of everything else, Megan, she looks like she could be a good cornerback with that anticipation.
And she's made some catches on the break this year, too. She looks like a wide receiver.
Green to Doty. Around the Charles screen, pick and roll to Charles. Look at the use of the left hand.
Well, you know, based on the injuries that she's had over the years, you know, she uses both hands exceptionally well, does Tina Charles. I just love the athleticism on that play. That pick and roll run perfectly. And then the space that she took up with that dribble went all the way across the lane to where there was open space to make that shot and get herself fouled into the line.
So Charles, as you saw the number on your screen, a perfect 4 for 4 from the floor. And for her career, she has the 3rd best career field goal shooting percentage in UConn history. Entered the night 60.4%, and she's added to that this evening. But I've noticed, Megan, in the first 6 games this year, Tina seems to be using her left hand more than ever and using it at the right time to use the left hand.
Absolutely, and that makes her an even bigger weapon inside, because if you have a kid who can go right or left, they're nearly impossible to defend.
McFadden, wild shot, rebound, Charles, her 6th.
Right, and then on top of it, she's shooting 68% from the floor.
And she's only 2nd on her team. Charles up high. The performance by UConn on Sunday night against Oklahoma was one of the best in any UConn team in recent years. Tic-tac-toe, and Moore finds Charles inside, and Charles becomes the 4th Husky to score in double figures tonight. She's got 11.
And as good of an offensive player as Maya Moore is, with the way she shoots and scores, she's a phenomenal passer as well.
Another turnover for Holy Cross. 11th for the Crusaders, as Bill Gibbons just reaches for the forehead and scratches away. Tough to come up with answers. You're probably better off not looking at the scoreboard at this point.
Well, if, you know, Sherry Cole said, you know, they're 4th in the country, and if it's the best they played and they got killed to UConn, what's Holy Cross going to say?
Here's Alyssa May. May up top again to McFadden. The Crusaders are 1-5. They will visit Vermont this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Catch and shoot May for 3. Long rebound comes to Doty, her 3rd. And Montgomery will walk it up the floor. It's not much you can do when you're in an effort to try to hold the score down. I mean, you can control things by your defense to a certain extent. You're not going to press. You'll probably sit back in a somewhat passive zone. Charles lays it in, but you're not going to take intentional shot clock violations.
No, it's disrespectful to the other team. What you're going to do is work on some things that you don't get a lot of a chance to work on, whether it's different defensive sets or get some different players minutes. But, you know, you just run offense and you play hard and you play the game.
Long 3 by May, barely grazes the iron, and it was last touched by Montgomery. So a fresh 30 on the shot clock for Holy Cross when we come back. Bill Gibbons' club has been to the NCAA tournament 11 times in his first 23 years. They're seeing why UConn is ranked #1 tonight. Some news and notes from around the Big East. The incomparable Angel McCautry of Louisville, already the school's all-time leading scorer, has become the Cardinals' all-time leading rebounder. Congratulations to her. 3 Big East teams undefeated early in December. The Huskies, Notre Dame, and St. John's. 4 Big East teams ranked in the top 25. UConn #1, Notre Dame #8, Rutgers #12, and Louisville is number 15. Of course, last year, Meg, UConn and Rutgers wound up meeting 3 times. They did not get together in the Big East tournament, thanks to Louisville, who stunned Rutgers in the quarterfinals. But they wound up playing Rutgers on the way to the Final Four in the Elite 8 regional final.
Can't escape the Scarlet Knights. And that, I think they play the last game of the regular season again this year.
They usually do. They will play each other twice, as they have.
Just great drama.
Lasting near March 2nd. That will be at Rutgers. The first meeting will be February 3rd here at Gamble. 15 seconds to shoot on the shot clock for the Huskies as they inbound beneath their own basket. The win over Oklahoma was the first for UConn this season against a nationally ranked opponent. Boy, that was a late whistle. Inbound pass went to Moore, and Gino Auriemma has redefined the term wholesale substitution. UConn is about to tie the NCAA record for the most substitutions made at one time. They are lining up as if they are posing for a photo in front of the scorer's table. But
in this group, are there such a bunch of hams? Look at. They look like they are posing.
Actually, one of them will have to stay back because Moore has to shoot the second free throw.
The question is, does she make this knowing that she's coming out?
You're not suggesting she's going to miss it on purpose so she can stay in, right?
There were studies done years ago, though. If student athletes miss these shots, knowing they were coming out.
Studies done by people who have way too much time on their hands. Moore hits the second one, so she leaves with 13 points. So new unit on the floor. We have Dixon, really only one true guard. Kalena Green can play some guard. And then Tahira Williams and Megan Gardler. And McLaren will be the center in this group. So Gino Auriemma, not overly concerned with whether he has two of each on the floor. At this point, with a 74-14, McFadden still looking for her first points of the night. You know, she went 0 for 8 from the floor against UConn last year.
Well, the Huskies always do a really good job of taking away the opponent's best scorer.
Yeah, just ask Courtney Paris, who had that long streak of double-doubles on the line and finally kept it alive by getting into the 10-point column late in the season. A streak which, by the way, went all the way back to when she played UConn early in her freshman year when she didn't get a double-double when they lost to the Huskies here at Gamble in the finals of the preseason WNIT.
Yeah, I thought that the post players did a great job. Tina did a great job on her inside.
Tahira Williams, no good. Rebound inside. Hayes. And we'll get a trip to the line. She's got some ups. Tiffany Hayes, 5'10" freshman out of Winter Haven High School, lives in Lakeland, Florida. Foul on Meredith Ward. Hayes was a McDonald's, Parade Magazine, and WBCA All-American a year ago. And Megan, as you look at this UConn team, and Gino Auriemma has a tendency, like most coaches, when you play the best competition, and certainly Oklahoma's the best team they played this year, kind of play. Concerned about the Huskies' depth, thinking big picture down the road?
Well, you know, it's hard because you're not going to play 8 or 9 kids all the time. Different games, different kids will step up. I think the biggest question is their inside game. Because if Tina Charles gets in foul trouble, and depending on who they're playing, that could be very problematic for them.
Well, they'll need McLaren to step up. That's for sure.
They need Heather Buck, to get back and healthy.
Right. Gardler down low. McLaren spins and lays it in. Beautiful feed from Gardler.
And again, running their offense with a purpose. Everyone knowing their role.
6 points for McLaren. And I'm not sure that Fremo wanted to use the glass, but they all count. Her first 3 of the night. She's got 5. Sophomore from Manchester, New Hampshire. Dixon up high to Williams, who hands it right back to Dixon, who played with Charles at Christ the King High School in Middle Village, New York. That three-pointer by Fremo, is this right, Ed? Ended a 32-0 run.
Wow.
Wow. I thought that only happened to the Lions. 32-0.
Which is my husband's favorite team, by the way. Oh. Imagine that.
You ought to rethink that.
Or you could just say at least he's loyal.
Did he enjoy the Thanksgiving Day game? Against Tennessee? 10-1 Tennessee against the and whatever they are, Lions. As all of America is begging the NFL to do away with the tradition of having the Lions play on Thanksgiving Day every year. Nice move in the lane by May. Dixon will walk it across. Up top, Dixon. Williams, shot clock at 12. Hayes, ball fake, clock inside 10. Williams from the foul line. She's got 10. And that's a career high for her as she becomes the 5th Husky in double figures tonight. She's done it on 4 of 5 shoots. .80 points, and we have 12 minutes left in the game. And this coming off what'd they get the other night? 106 against Oklahoma. They have scored 90 or more in 4 straight games. I think they're going to get there tonight. Hayes for 3. Long rebound. Fremo tries to control baseline and managed to keep those puppies in. In and out of the hands of Ward. Last touch by Dixon. And we're going to get a timeout. UConn shooting 70.5% from the floor. They have assisted on 24 of their 31 field goals. It's been a long night for that man. UConn leading it by 61 points. Now, there are 5 current Huskies there. And we'd like to tell you about one future Husky. Now, you missed the last couple of games. Were you doing anything special while you were away?
I just was hanging out, not doing too much.
Yeah, well, we'd like to welcome you to the newest member of the Kumo family, Claire Gabriella, 8 pounds 3 ounces, and indeed she's going to be a Husky, as if she's got any, right? As if Rutgers has any chance to get her, even though her grandfather Wally is a Rutgers alum. But congratulations to you and your husband Angelo and little Angelo and Kathleen. And how do they like life with a little baby sister?
They love her. They do. They're very helpful, and they haven't tried to throw her yet. So that's
still
positive.
Early.
Yeah, it is. It could always change.
May lays it in, and the big thing is the girls now outnumber the guys in the Kumo house.
Yeah. So this is
that's bad news for the 2 Angelos. Let me tell you.
Yep. But I'm loving it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, and the best of health to you and the newest member of your family, and we're glad to have you back. Carol Walters did a great job while you were away.
She did. I better not go away too much. She'll take my job. She did a great job.
There's Carol back on the radio with our good buddy Bob Joyce on WTIC. The miss by Dixon, rebound to Tahira Williams, and boy, Tahira's making the most of her playing time tonight.
Absolutely, and that's what you got to do. It's proof, you work hard every day in practice, and anything can happen when you get into the game.
Dixon, nice penetration. She feeds Gardner. Wow. Dixon can be a very important player for UConn this season, because one of the things that Gina Auriemma wants is an opportunity, Megan, to reduce Renee Montgomery's minutes in the big picture. Keep her fresh.
Absolutely, and Chris was saying, they're only 18, 19, but last year in the NCAA tournament, look at that nice dish and the nice finish by Gardner. But last year in the NCAA tournament, Renee Montgomery was tired and
didn't shoot well against Stanford. That's
she didn't, and I think there was also, it was just a different group, and I think mentally they were taxed a little bit. But if aside, like Chris said, it's getting minutes.
McLaren just cost Gardner an assist.
She did, but the important thing on a night like tonight, like Chris alluded to at halftime, is that you got to get other guys minutes, and this is a perfect opportunity.
Hayes was too far underneath the basket and hit the bottom of the rim on that one. Here comes Fremo the other way for the Crusaders. They've had nothing in transition. Fremo can't get this one to go. Dixon tried to control the rebound, but taken away by Ward. Goes back to Ward, who's a freshman from Westerly, Rhode Island. Great place to be in the summer. McFadden still looking for her first points. She averages 19. Maybe she'll get it right here. Yep. And Bill Gibbons wants to call a timeout. So the first points of the night for McFadden, who played at Our Lady of Good Counsel High School in Olney, Maryland, with Huskies junior Kylie McLaren. UConn's got 82 points with 9 minutes left. Well, when it's 82-23, some people do almost anything, huh? Is that Jeff Adrian's number he's wearing there from the men's team? Men will be playing in Buffalo tomorrow. Huskies #1 in the Big East in the preseason poll. getting 14 of the 16 first-place votes. You're not allowed to vote for your own team. That means someone, and I believe, wasn't it Kelly Hall at Cincinnati, who did not vote for UConn? Gino presumably voted for Rutgers. You can't vote for your own team. But UConn will play Rutgers twice, as we mentioned, February 3rd here at Gamble, and March 2nd in Piscataway. The final game of the regular season Big East tournament for the 6th year in a row will be in Hartford, and the bigger than ever Big East tournament, because all 16 teams for the first time will play in the conference tournament.
Which is a great change that they've made to allow all teams to play. I mean, that's the only way it should be.
That turnover for the Huskies was only their 7th of the night.
They've done a good job this year taking care of the basketball.
Ward, shot clock inside 10. Launching the long shot, May, and the offensive rebound by Merrihew. And a fresh shot clock for Holy Cross. Crusaders a year ago were 19-13. They finished 10-4 in the Patriot League in second place. Lost in the conference tournament to Bucknell. Good footwork by Fremo. Gets a deuce.
That was a nice take. I thought she was going to kick it out for the 3 in the corner, but it did a nice job of keeping that pivot foot set
and then step through
and powering through.
Williams. I think the 5 Husky starters are probably going to get the rest of the night off. And we're going to get a rebound foul called on UConn. Is it on McLaren?
Yes.
It will be number 1 on McLaren, and the first team foul on the Huskies here in the second half. I think, Megan, this will probably be career low numbers in minutes for all 5 UConn starters. Gino Auriemma is doing everything possible to try to hold down the margin of this victory. McFadden, let's see if she can get on track. She now has 5, her first 3 of the night.
Well, and again, it is nice to get a lot of minutes for some other kids.
Lauren Dixon, when she was at Christ the King High School in New York her junior year, Tina Charles was a senior. They were the #1 ranked high school team in the country. Then Tina came to UConn, and in Lauren's senior year in high school, Maya Moore's team was ranked #1 in the country in high school. Inside the putback by McLaren. Power move. She's got 8. 84 points for UConn. May has it taken away by Gardler. Williams also helped create that turnover.
There's something special about this particular UConn team. There's it's chemistry, it's their personality, very different from the last couple of years, and I can just see it in the way they operate.
Counted in the foul. Hayes with a chance for a 3-point play. That's her first field goal of the night. She had been 0 for 6 from the floor. She was the Gatorade Player of the Year at Lakeland High School last year in Florida. The holiday season's just around the corner. You see the decorations already up in most places. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's scary. A lot to do.
Hayes departs after making the free throw. 5 points. She was 0 for 5 from 3-point range. So Jackie Fernandez back in. She scored a career high 5 points in the first half. 6:40 remaining. McFadden. Rebound off Gardler's hands. Fremo tries to save and could not as it goes into the Holy Cross bench. This is the final game for UConn before a 10-day break for final exams. They'll return on December 14th. That game will be at Madison Square Garden against Penn State in the Maggie Dixon Classic. Army and Rutgers in the other half of the doubleheader. Then it's off to the Caribbean Classic in Cancun. 3 games in 4 days against Washington, Northern Colorado, and Florida State. Then on to South Carolina. Kalena Green homecoming game. Kalena's from South Carolina. As Williams lays it in, she's got 12 points. UConn will not play another home game until New Year's Eve, a matinee against the Hartford Hawks at the Hartford Civic Center. So 27 straight days without a home game for the Huskies against a Hartford Hawk team that stunned Duke early this season.
So happy for Jen Rosati.
That's become a look at the backdoor cut. McLaren to Gardler. Back up top to McLaren. And the pick and roll to Williams. Perfectly executed. These guys look like they practice these things, don't they?
Well, you know, and just like Billy Gibbons was saying beforehand, they don't want to worry about the score. Same thing for UConn. You got to make sure you continue to play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And it's impressive the way this group, and I talked about it before, it's a special group. As McFadden misses that three-point attempt, Fremo with the rebound. Fremo, rather. But, you know, this team does a really good job of staying focused.
Yep.
And it's impressive to see early on. You know, well, let's see if it continues throughout the year. I think it will.
Tahira Williams has career-high 14 points on 6 of 7 shooting and a career-high 7 rebounds.
And a big screen she set there. Lauren Dixon wasn't thinking shot.
They're just pick and rolling Holy Cross to death. Gardler to McLaren. So McLaren has 10, and that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 Huskies. And 2 of the 6 are off the bench in Williams and McLaren. Second time this year McLaren has scored in double figures. That equals her season high. She had 10 against BYU, and McFadden catching fire with another 3. So she's got 8 second-half points. And if nothing else, Megan, that will put her in a much better place between the ears as she takes the floor against Vermont Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you worry about sometimes in games like this. There she picks up the nice steal.
Thought she was passing that to us, though. Loose on the floor. We'll get a held ball, arrow pointing toward Holy Cross. Cassie Kearns will re-enter for the Huskies at the next break. UConn is going to extend its home winning streak to 29 games. Now, Gino won't be able to see that live because that's the first night of the tournament in Cancun.
Oh,
and don't you feel sorry for UConn that they have to go spend their pre-Christmas holiday in Cancun?
I'm sure he'll be TiVoing.
Yes.
Positively Connecticut,
yeah,
of course.
With the fool not
it's
to.
Well, it's already programmed in.
The foul is going to be called on Tahira Williams. Her first into the free throw line will go Brianna McFadden. Bill Gibbons says of her, she plays wherever we need her to play. She comes every day to work. She's a great example for our young players. And she won the Patriot League Player of the Year award as a sophomore.
Yeah, the kid she's a great basketball player. You know, not exceptionally quick, but what is great about her is that her personality never changes on the floor. She's always even-keeled. They could be up 100, down 100. Her facial expression never changes, and she's a terrific leader for this Crusader team.
She had a career-high 30 points in the win over Missouri Saturday. That's the most points by any player in the Patriot League this season. Shot clock at 10 as Gardler hands to Williams. Great look inside to Kearns. Can't finish. And it winds up in the hands of Alyssa May as we approach the 3-minute mark. Williams nearly got her first assist of the night. We'll be chatting with Tahira after the game. Shot no good by May. Gardler comes away with the rebound. Her third. And Dixon will walk it across. Everybody who has played tonight for UConn has scored except Kearns. So they need to get her on the board here in the last 2:50. There's Kearns with the ball. Down low feeds Williams. Nice power move to the goal. And a reach-in foul is called on May. And Williams will go to the line. Tahira Williams comes from an extremely athletic family. Her dad, Ira, was a defensive back at Rutgers. Her older brother, Ira Jr., was a wide receiver at Wake Forest. And her twin brother, Isaiah, is currently a wide receiver for Maryland.
I think I should ask her who's the best athlete in the family. Who wins the games at home? Absolutely.
She always watches all of her brother's games. Whenever UConn plays at Seton Hall, it's a homecoming for Tahira, who's from Montclair, New Jersey, which is only about a 15-minute ride from the Seton Hall campus. She talks about when her older brother Ira played at Wake Forest, how the family would get into a van every weekend and make the drive from New Jersey down to wherever Wake Forest is playing. The spin move in the lane by number 24, Mary Grace J., a freshman from Vienna, Virginia, her third and fourth career points. Williams down low, lays it up and in. She's going to double her career point total the way things are going. Her career high was 9. She now has 17.
And a nice strong move in the lane in traffic.
McFadden launching the three. Boy, May has a very unorthodox
and high arc
shot from three-point range. She struggled with it tonight. She's 1 for 6. Pearson back in for Holy Cross. And Tahira Williams will depart with a career high 17 points on 7 of 8 shooting and a career high 7 rebounds. And as I said, don't go away. We will be chatting with Tahira, although she doesn't know yet. So don't tell her on our post-game show.
I'm sure that'll be the highlight of her evening.
Have you ever seen her without a smile on her face?
Never.
I never have. She's a senior. Fernandez up top. Dixon. Nice screen set by Kearns.
And the kids in the bench are telling her to shoot it.
Dixon launches the 3. Rebound comes down to Fremo with 1:20 remaining.
The bench would have erupted had that gone in.
So UConn is going to go to 6-0 for the 4th straight year. It will be the Huskies' 17th straight win in the month of December. And as we hit the 1-minute mark, Dixon will walk it up the floor. Hayes starts to explode toward the goal and will draw the foul. She has an amazingly explosive first step. Well, this is a UConn team, Megan, to get to where they want to get, and the goal every year, the bar is set very high. It's to win the national championship. They are going to need major contributions throughout the season and in March from the 2 freshmen, Doty and Hayes.
You know, and you talk about how right now, as Cassie Kearns gets fouled and just couldn't get that ball to drop. We'll see if she can knock in the free throws. But, you know, Gino's talking now how Caroline Doty is not a typical freshman. And, you know, for the Huskies' sake, you hope that she's still not a typical freshman come March. And, you know, there's a toughness about her that I think, you know, she'll play beyond her years for the remainder of this season. But, you know, come March, that's a long time to be playing when you're a freshman and when you've never played that much basketball in 1 year before.
Well, as you well know, when you scratch and claw your way out of the streets of Doylestown, Pennsylvania,
it's a tough place to grow up, man, let me tell you.
You can do anything. The pride and joy of Doylestown, my partner, Megan, and Caroline Doty. Gino Auriemma said of Caroline, her confidence level is through the roof. It wouldn't have mattered if she missed 2 years, talking about coming back from a torn ACL. She would be able to step right in. Her personality allows her to believe she's the best guard on the floor when she's playing. McFadden with the miss. 30 seconds left, so about a 3-second differential shot clock, game clock. So the Huskies beat Holy Cross last year 91-36. And a remarkably similar score, isn't it? 96-37. Kearns with the floater. And here comes McFadden with 5 seconds remaining. Cross court, Pearson at the buzzer, won't fall. So UConn had 6 players in double figures. They shot 66% from the floor. Everyone but Cassie Kearns got on the board. And Gino Auriemma's club now has won 29 consecutive regular season home games. And they've won 215 consecutive home games against unranked opponents. Final, UConn 96, Holy Cross 37. Bob Picozzi back at Gamble Pavilion, where UConn has jumped out to a 6-0 start for the 4th straight year. They beat Holy Cross 96-37. 6 players in double figures. Tina Charles had 13.6 rebounds. And Tahira Williams with a career high 17 points and 7 rebounds. Tahira and Tina are standing by with Megan.
Bob, thank you very much. Tahira, we'll start with you. It's great to have you over here. Talk a little bit about how fun it was for you to play out there, a new career high.
It was real fun. I had a lot of people pulling for me to score. Well, Lauren wanted me to score 20 tonight, but I had people supporting me, so it was great. It was fun.
What do you got going on your chin there?
I was diving for a loose ball, and I think number 14 sat on my head. So
that's problematic.
Yes, it is.
All right, now over here to you, Miss Charles.
Yes.
Coming off the huge game that you guys had against Oklahoma, which is I was home watching that game, and it was a great game. I think we know who the best center in the country is, but that's just a personal opinion. But, you know, sometimes it can be hard to come back and play against a team that you know you're better than, but you guys came out, and there's something different about this team this year.
Yeah, that's what Coach was saying. He was saying it's kind of hard for people to come out after a great game and just come out and just have the same kind of intensity. You know, usually he said that people pick it up when you lose a game because you know they're going to want to get it back. But I think we did great. We played Connecticut basketball, so I'm just happy with my teammates, and especially Tahira. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, talk about it. Like, it's so fun to watch you guys over there on the bench when these guys are in, and they played exceptionally well tonight. How fun is that for you guys over there?
It's a lot of fun. We was having a lot of fun on the bench. We was pulling for them. They were executing our plays right. We had good defense. They were just playing Connecticut basketball. You can't ask for more.
Talk about, I want to hear from you on this one too, but talk about this, the personality of the team this year is very different from the last couple years. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I would. And I think it changed too, because in the beginning of the season, Coach would say the personality team right now would be Renee. And I think everybody's just coming together and coming into their own and just individually just working on things that they know that we could do. And we're just executing it on the court, so it's looking good.
Tahira, how about you? I mean, you're a senior. You've been here for a while. I was going to say forever, but not really. But talk about this team compared to those in the past and the personality.
Just like Tina said, Renee, she's like our personality leader. I guess you could say that. She's always helpful, and like we're all helpful for each other, and also like we go hard in everything we do. And even when we're tired, we still stay strong and try to beat Coach in practice, like he always says.
He's a punk in practice, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's tough. He's tough.
I can say that. You can. All right, girls, good luck in exams, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, Megan, take a look at the bench scoring. 41-5 for UConn, in large part because of Tahira Williams. Her previous career high was 9. She had 17 points tonight. The Huskies outshot Holy Cross 65% to 21%. Outscored them in the paint 48-12. And UConn had 38 field goals tonight, and they assisted on 28 of them. All the numbers add up to a 96-37 win over the Crusaders of Holy Cross. And Megan, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but these games are tough for the team with the obvious advantage in talent, because, you know, you have a very demanding coach. He expects you to play your game. You have this long break coming up for final exams. The last thing you want to do is stink out the joint and then have to put up with him for 10 days before you play a game. But UConn just kept to business, and I would say that probably defines this team 6 games in, that they're very businesslike.
They are, and you know, a lot of that goes back to, as the girls just alluded to, it goes back to the fact that Renee Montgomery is the leader of this ball club, and she will take nothing but the best, and they have a maturity about them, and they have a toughness about them, and just a business-like approach that I haven't seen on this team. I don't know about you, but I haven't seen it in several years. And you can even tell that Gino, his demeanor on the sideline, and I've talked to him a little bit about it, he really likes this team, and I don't think he could say it quite that sincerely the last several years, but this group is very different, and they're a lot of fun for him to coach.
And here's what lies ahead for UConn: 10 days of final exams, and then the Maggie Dixon Classic. And of course, UConn is just delighted to be participating in anything that will resurrect the memory of the great Maggie Dixon, who of course died tragically at the age of 29 when she coached Army. Army will play Rutgers in the other half of that doubleheader. And it will only be the second time UConn has ever played at Madison Square Garden. First time for some of these kids, and what a thrill that will be for them.
Oh, it will. And I know Gina was very good friends with Maggie Dixon. And
spent a lot of time with her at the Final Four in Boston, just literally days before her death.
She passed. And so I know it means a lot to him to be a part of it and for the team. And I hope it's something that continues to honor her, because she was a wonderful person.
And then after that, it's on to Cancun and the Caribbean Classic for 3 games there. But it was all Huskies tonight. Tahira Williams, 17 points, led the way. 13 points for Renee Montgomery. 13 points for Maya Moore. 13 points for Tina Charles, 11 points for Caroline Doty, and 10 points off the bench for Kylie McLaren. Perfect 5 for 5. Leading the way for Holy Cross with 10 points, all in the second half, Brianna McFadden. So the Crusaders fall to 1-6. They'll visit Vermont Saturday at 1. UConn goes to 6-0. Next up for the Huskies will be Penn State in the Maggie Dixon Classic, Saturday, December 14th at 2:30 here on CPTV. So for Megan Kumo, I'm Bob Picozzi. Once again, the final score was UConn 96 and Holy Cross 37. The Huskies have now won 87 of their last 89 at Gamble Pavilion. The preceding has been a presentation of Connecticut Public Television. We say so long from Gamble Pavilion and Stores.